Welcome to the Make More Money as a Dietitian podcast. I am your host, Christine Diane Thompson, and this podcast is for dietitians who are ready to stop apologizing for wanting more money, more freedom, and a career that actually honors everything that you bring to the table. This is where we ditch the guilt and start building something big. If that resonates with you, let's go ahead and get started with today's episode. Hey there, my friends. Welcome to episode 361 of the Make More Money as a Dietitian podcast. I'm so glad that you're back for another episode because if you've been thinking about starting your own private practice, but you're stuck in analysis paralysis, wondering if it's actually possible to make real money in your first year, this episode, my friends, was made just for you. Because here's what I am hearing from so many dietitians. Christine, I want to start my private practice, but I have no idea where to begin. Everyone's telling me it takes years to build a sustainable business, and honestly, I can't afford to wait that long. And I get it. Does that sound familiar to you? Maybe you're sitting in your 9 to 5 right now, dreaming about the day that you can set your own schedule, choose your own clients, and actually get paid what your services are worth. But then that little voice creeps in. You know, the one telling you that practice is risky and that most nutrition businesses fail and that you should just be grateful for your steady paycheck. Well, I'm here to squash all of that today because the truth is, at least the way I see the truth, is with the right blueprint, and I mean a real step-by-step game plan, not some vague follow your passion kind of advice, okay? You absolutely can build a 5-figure private practice in your first year. I've seen it happen dozens of times with my clients, and I'm going to break down exactly how in today's episode. But before we dive in, let me be crystal clear about something. This is not some get rich quick scheme, okay? Building a successful private practice requires work, strategy, and yes, some serious mindset shifts. But it's absolutely doable if you're willing to do things differently than most people. So let's start with the reality check because I refuse to blow sunshine up your behind about what building a private practice is actually going to take. So most dietitians approach private practice completely backwards. All right. They think that they need to have everything figured out first, like the perfect niche, the flawless website, every certification under the sun. So what they do is they spend months, sometimes even years, in preparation mode, never actually getting started. Or they go to the other extreme and just hang up a shingle with no strategy in place whatsoever. Nothing. And then wonder why they're not getting clients. So here's what actually separates the dietitians who hit 5 figures in their first year from those who struggle. They understand that building a private practice is about solving problems for people who are willing to pay for solutions. It's not about being perfect, my friends. It's not about having every credential either. It's about being strategic, it's about being consistent, and it's about your willingness to put yourself out there before you feel ready. Now, the 5-figure mark is not arbitrary, by the way. It's the point where your private practice stops being a hobby and starts being a real business that's generating money, like consistent income. It's where you prove to yourself, and frankly, anyone who's been questioning your decision, that this nutrition expertise you've been developing can actually support you financially. And here's something that most people won't tell you. the difference between a dietitian making $2,000 a year from her side hustle and one making 50 plus is not talent or luck. It's strategy and it's mindset, period. All right. So let's get into the meat of this episode. I want to dive into the actual blueprint, the 5-figure blueprint. Okay. I'm going to break this down into 4 phases, and I want you to think about these as building blocks, not racing checkpoints. We're not checking boxes here because each phase builds on the last one. So the first phase is all about getting clear on your foundation and your focus. So let's just label phase one as foundation and focus. And this is months 1 through 3. Okay. I'm going to save you months of spinning your wheels right here. You do not need to find the perfect niche before you start. Here is what you actually need to do in phase one. First, clarify your core offer. What is the one main way you help people? And notice I said one way, not 17 different ways, okay? Most dietitians try to help everyone with everything, and they end up helping no one effectively. Your core offer actually needs to solve a specific problem that people are actively wanting solved, okay? And the problem that they are willing to pay for. All right. This could be something like helping busy professionals meal prep without losing their minds, or supporting women through perimenopause nutrition, or it could also be something like helping families in their dinner time battles. Okay. The key to this is just being specific. So, first, clarity on your core offer. Second, your basic business infrastructure needs to be set up, and I mean basic. You need a way for people to find you online, okay? And this could be a simple website, nothing fancy, okay? We're not going out here spending $5,000, $10,000 on a website just getting started, okay? Or you could just start by having a social media presence and building that up, if that is your thing. All right. If social media is not your thing, then that does not apply to you. Okay. But whatever it is, you need a way for people to pay you and to find you. So once you have your simple website set up, then you're going to find a way for people to pay you. It could be PayPal, it could be Stripe, it could be Square. Um, Whatever it is, you'll have to set that up. So, basic business infrastructure means a simple website or using social media to get your visibility going. And then you have to find a way to pay or have people pay you, excuse me. And then that's all you need. Okay. You do not need anything fancy. All right. You don't need a logo. You do not need any of those things just yet. All right. And then the third thing in this first phase of foundation and focus is your first pricing structure. Okay. Now, here's where most dietitians kind of shoot themselves in the foot. They price their services based on what they think people can afford, not based on the value that they actually provide. If you're helping someone solve a problem that's been frustrating for them for months or even years, you're potentially preventing them from spending thousands on medical costs down the road. Okay, that is valuable. You are giving them back time and energy and confidence. And that is worth way more than $50 an hour, my friends. So I recommend that you actually start with packages, not hourly rates. So a 3-month package priced between $1,200 to $2,400, depending on what you're including. I want you to do the math though, okay? You only need 2 to 4 clients per month at that rate to hit 5 figures in your first year. Remember, business is math. All right, so the second phase in all of this is client acquisition and validation. So this second phase occurs between months 2 through 6. Okay. And this is where you start getting real clients and real feedback. This is where the rubber meets the road, my friends. Your primary focus should be on getting your first 5 to 10 paying clients here between months 2 through 6, not followers, not email subscribers, actual paying clients. Because here's what those first clients give you that no other thing like social media can. These actual paying clients give you proof that people will pay you for your expertise. They also give you testimonials and case studies and real feedback on what's working and what isn't. All right. So, how do you get these first clients? I want you to start with your warm network. I know. Some of you like literally just cringed. But your network actually includes people like your own colleagues, your friends, your family members, maybe even former classmates, people you know from other areas of your life, even. All right. And these people already know and trust you. They're often your easiest first sales. So put together a simple post about what you're offering and share it if you're a social media kind of person. Tell people that you're taking on your first private practice clients and you're looking for people who want XYZ result. I want you to ask for referrals. Then expand your professional network. Connect with other health professionals who serve your ideal clients but don't compete with you. If you are helping with meal prep, for example, connect with personal trainers, right? If you're doing gut health work, connect with therapists. I can't talk today. Ah! I want you to connect with therapists who actually work with anxiety. All right. So those are some examples of how to expand your professional network. And then finally, start building your content marketing engine. And this is where you begin establishing yourself as an expert by consistently sharing valuable content that speaks directly to your ideal client's problems and what they really truly desire. And the key here, as with anything, even what we teach our own clients we work with, is consistency, not perfection, my friends. One viral social media post does not build a business, all right? But showing up regularly, providing value regularly, building trust regularly, that's what builds a business. So, let's move into phase 3, which is systems and scale. Now, this occurs in months 4 through 9 of your first year in business. All right. So by phase 3, you should have some client success stories under your belt and a clearer picture of who you serve best and how. And now it's time to systematize and scale. So I want you to first refine your offers based on what you've learned. All right. So maybe you have discovered that your clients get better results with longer support periods. So you extend your package times. All right. Maybe you found that group coaching works just as well as individual sessions for certain outcomes. So you create a group option. The point here is you're not guessing anymore. You're making decisions based on real data from real client work. And then, second, create systems that allow you to serve more people without burning out. And this might mean developing group programs, creating digital resources that complement your one on one work, or even setting up automation for your client onboarding process, which I believe is totally necessary. All right. Third, I want you to invest in professional development that directly supports your business goals. All right. Notice I said directly supports. Not every certification or training is going to move your business forward. So choose wisely based on what your clients actually need and what will help you, my friend, serve them better. And the fourth part of this third phase of systems and scale is building strategic partnerships. So, by now, in this phase, you should have a clear picture of who your ideal clients are and where they actually hang out. So, start building relationships with other professionals who serve these same people. Strategic partnerships. All right, my friends. Now we are moving into the optimization and growth phase, and this is phase 4. This occurs in months 6 through 12. Okay. Phase 4 is where you really start to see some momentum. You've got systems in place, you understand your market, and you're ready to grow a little more strategically. So, here are 4 things I want you to focus on when it comes to optimization and growth. First, focus on optimizing your client experience because happy clients refer more clients and they leave better testimonials and often invest in additional services with you. So, what can you do to make working with you an absolute incredible experience? I want you to think about that. Ask yourself that question and truly write the answers down. What can you do to make working with you an absolutely incredible experience? Then, second, I want you to work on expanding your reach through the strategic marketing. So, by now, you should have clarity on what marketing channels work best for your ideal clients, whether it's social media, podcast, a blog, whatever it is. Okay. I want you to double down on those channels. If Instagram is working for you, really invest in Instagram. If speaking at events really works for you to bring in clients, book more speaking gigs. Okay. So you have to be really strategic at this point and double down on the marketing that is working for your business. Then, third, I want you to consider expanding your service offerings. And this might mean adding a higher tier service for clients who want even more support, or creating a lower tiered entry point for people who aren't ready for your full package. Okay. Or maybe you'll even develop passive income streams like courses or um, DIY digital resources. All right. So, at this point, you can start considering expanding your service offerings, but we don't want to have 1,001 things. Okay. We just want to have maybe an additional or maybe 2 additional things. All right. And lastly, start thinking about your business model long term. Do you want to stay primarily one on one? If you do, that is fine. But do you want to move toward more group programs? Do you want to build a team? There is no right answer here, but you really do need to ask yourself these questions. All right. By the end of your first year, you should have some clarity on where you want to go next. And that is why you want to ask yourself these questions. So, I promised you that we would talk about mindset. And of course, we're going to do that. So let's talk about the mindset piece because all the strategy in the world will not help you if your head is not in the right place. So, the first mindset shift that I want to address is this: you do not need permission to start. All right. So many dietitians wait for someone to validate their idea or approve their rates or tell them that they're ready. And nobody's coming to give you permission. All right. The market will tell you if you offer something good and it works by people buying it. All right. So you don't need permission. You just need to get yourself out there and make offers. All right. Second mindset shift is your expertise has value right now. You do not need 10 more certifications or 5 more years of experience if you're just coming out of the internship. You can help someone get a result that they want right now. All right. Your expertise has value. So stop hiding behind, I need to learn more. When what you really mean is, I'm scared to put myself out there. All right. We all are scared in the beginning. And I promise you, you can do the scary things. The third mindset shift is this: failure is data. All right. It is not a verdict. If a client does not sign up, that's information about your message or your offer, not proof that you're not cut out for business. If a marketing strategy does not work, that does not mean anything, but maybe you should try a different one. The only real failure is giving up. All right. The fourth mindset shift that I want for you to hear today is this: you can't serve everyone, and trying to will serve no one. The riches are in the niches, as they say. The more specific you get about who you help and how, the easier it becomes to find those people and communicate your value. And I also want to say that you do not have to niche down in the very beginning if you don't want to, but it does make it easier for people to find you. And it also makes it easier for you to find your specific people. And this is the reason why a lot of coaches will say you really should niche down a little bit. It doesn't mean that being a generalist isn't profitable either. I have interviewed general dietitians on this podcast that were 7-figure owners, and it's okay to be a generalist. It might take a little more time for you to get yourself out there and talk about what you do. It's a lot easier to talk about what you do when you have a niche. All right. So, just wanted to clarify that. And the final mindset shift is that success leaves clues. I want you to find dietitians who have built the kind of practice that you want and learn from them. I want you to think about how you can model what works. You do not have to reinvent the wheel, especially in the world that we live in today. All right, my friends. So, if you're feeling inspired and maybe even a little bit overwhelmed, here's what I want you to do next. First, choose your phase. Where are you right now? Are you in foundation mode, needing to get clear on your offer and set up your basic systems? Are you ready for client acquisition? Like, be honest about where you are so you can focus on the right actions for yourself. And then step two would be to set your 90-day goal. Let's not look at the bigger picture, okay? Don't try to tackle the whole year at once. What's the one big thing you want to accomplish in the next 90 days? Get your first paying client, maybe, or launch your website. Maybe it is to just book 5 discovery calls in the next 90 days. I want you to pick one thing and go all in on that one thing. And the third step here is to find your support system because building a business can feel lonely, especially when you're surrounded by people who think you should be grateful for your day job. So connect with other entrepreneurial dietitians who actually get it. And if you want more specific guidance on any of these phases, I want you to head on over to our Facebook community. It's the Make More Money as a Dietitian community where over 1,200 dietitians are supporting each other in building profitable private practices. Remember, my friends, but building a 5-figure practice in your first year is not only possible, it is completely achievable when you have the right blueprint and the right mindset. You've got the expertise. Now you just need the strategy and the courage to use it. All right, my friends, I hope this has helped you. Maybe it has inspired you for your next 90-day adventure in your business or even getting started with your business. That is it for today's episode. So have a great rest of your day and the weekend ahead. And I'll see you next week on our next episode of Make More Money as a Dietitian. Bye for now, my friends. Hey there, my friend. If something in today's episode hit different, I'd love that for you. This week, I invite you to take one action that feels a little scary, yet honors your work. And for more resources and ways to work together, head on over to manipuracenter.co. Remember, you're not asking for too much, my friend. You've just been settling for too little.